Welcome everyone here to the Smashboard Show right here on Smash FM. Of course, we're here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Of course, let's go to the other side of the country now. Of course, we're heading to the West Coast, and of course, to the beautiful part of the states. Of course, in Oregon, of course, especially in Portland, Oregon. Of course, been with of course one of a player that we've actually had on the show, but only about we were just discussing this before we came on about 3-4 years ago, because she when we had her on the show, she was playing in Adelaide, but now obviously now she's coming over to Portland, Oregon, of course, playing for Portland State. Of course, they've already started their season with a fantastic exhibition match win over Montana State by 8 points. And of course, her name is Taylor Moffat. She joins us right now. Thanks, Taylor, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. Well, great start with the exhibition game. You got over the line by 8 points against Montana Tech. Tell us a bit about the game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a good game to kind of start the season on for us. We've had a pretty long preseason. We started summer session all the way back in June. So it's been a really good opportunity for our new kids. We've basically got 8 new kids coming into the team, including myself. And so it's been really good to kind of build those connections, but it was really good to have a new game where we're playing against someone other than ourselves, of course. There's obviously a lot of things that we can work on from that game and things we can pick out and kind of we want to change, I guess, for the upcoming games. But, we're glad we got the win, got over the line. And yeah, some really good, positive looking things that we can look forward to in the future.
Back home again, for the next game against Hawaii. They're at the Viking Pavilion, which I've been to before. Tell us how's the preparations been like this week heading towards this Saturday night's game?
Yeah, so we kind of have been focusing recently just a little bit on ourselves and, what things I guess we can kind of fix or improve on for coming up this game from Montana Tech's game. But I think for us, like we really just want to focus on ourselves. Obviously, there's scouting and all of that comes with it. But I think if we take care of ourselves and play the best we can, I think success will come with that, whatever form that will be. And I think just sticking together, we've got practices leading up there up until Saturday. And I think if we just keep preparing the way we are and sticking together, I'm really hopeful about it.
Of course, there's a couple of Australians in that Hawaii team that's going to be coming across to try to beat you and your teammates there. How special will it be when you look across the other side of the court and there's quite a few Aussies on the other side of the court?
Yeah, just to be, an international student over here. And obviously, it's awesome that in my team, I'm fortunate to have a couple from around the world, as well as my assistant coach being Australian, which is pretty cool. But yeah, to be able to play against Australians and just the recognition now and the popularity that, playing college basketball has come and a lot of them coming from Australia, I think it's awesome, especially for women's sport as well. Like it's really becoming a worldwide thing. And to be able to play against Australians, obviously, we're really competitive and we want to win and stuff like that. But deep down, I think we're really proud as a country to be able to represent ourselves over here and our country.
This is your second home game of the season before you hit the road. Thank goodness you don't have to go too far because obviously the two cities you're going to on the road is on either side of Portland. In San Fran and Seattle the following week. You mentioned before we came on, this is your third year over there here in the US. I guess, do you like the format where it's, you're constantly playing every couple of weeks, or every couple of days, I should say?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Like the best thing about this kind of format is, we have a game and we have things we want to work on and improve on. And there's such a short amount of time that we have to move on. We have to focus on that next game. And I mean, I'm fortunate. I love basketball so much. And so I'm so fortunate to be able to play as many games as I do. And the opportunity to come play over here in the States as an Australian athlete is pretty awesome. So I'm very lucky in that sense. Obviously, it's a new structure. We don't have that over in Australia, so it's definitely something to get used to. But I think having my 2, 3 years of experience now. I'm really fortunate to be able to have that experience where I understand kind of it's a long season, like it goes all the way till March. So, it's focusing on not just obviously focusing on the present, but also focusing on the future and, kind of that preparation.
Tell us a bit about Coach Greg.
I love her. I think it's awesome to be able to have a woman as a head coach as well. But I think for me, like the relationship side of thing, and that's something that I really look for in not just a coaching staff, but a program in general. And
Mm.
that's something that really stood out to me in Portland State is just the program and how their culture and they're willing to, I guess, create those relationships and connections on the court as well as off the court. And especially coming from all the way from Australia, like I don't have my family with me. And so to have that family environment was really important to me. And I just felt comfortable here at Portland State, and I have so far. And I'm super grateful for Coach Greg and what she's been able to do for me and for our team. And I'm just really looking forward to the season and excited about what's to come.
The one thing I love about the media team there, and especially on the social, that obviously the players get a chance to have chat with your coach, to get know a bit about each of the player. Now, I think you did one recently, or maybe a little bit early on, and of
Yeah.
course, for anyone who don't, everyone should check it out. But obviously, you get to walk around the Belgian Pavilion. Tell us, you know, how special was it to do that with her? And especially you had to walk around the concourse of Viking Pavilion.
No, it's pretty awesome. Like the facilities we have here at Portland State is something that I've really never experienced growing up through, especially in Australia. So I'm so fortunate to be able to have these facilities we have here and to be able to practice and play in them every day. Like I'm so lucky. But yeah, it's awesome, and that's another component of that relationship side of thing that I was talking about. She really wants to get to know us, and those questions were coming from her, and she really does just want to know about us and what makes us tick, our strengths, our weaknesses, our family, everything like that. Like I love I'll go into our office and we'll just talk about our family or talk about what's going on and that personal side of things, which I think sometimes it's hard to separate, basketball as a profession, but also, that kind of friendship side of things. And so I think I've found the balance really well with my coaches so far. And yeah, I love it though. It's awesome. And our media team are great. They do such a good job in promoting Portland State athletics, even in general. And we're really fortunate to have them.
What convinced you to go to Portland State? The ones that you've already explained, considering you actually started over in the East Coast.
Yeah, so I started my career over in Albany, New York. So I went there for a year, and things didn't really go as planned in terms of just coaching style and program just wasn't really a fit for me, unfortunately. And so I decided to go to a junior college in North Dakota, which for me it was an amazing experience, like to be able to get the opportunities I did, and I was fortunate to have success that came along with that as well, not just personally but also as a team. And then yeah, coming to Portland State, I think the main thing, like I said previously, was just the culture that really stuck out to me, and that is really important to me just in life in general, that culture, the relationships, let alone, the facilities and even just getting to know. I was fortunate to be able to come on a visit here and experience everything firsthand, which is pretty rare for Australians. Not a lot of us are able to visit. So I was fortunate to be able to do that and just experience of what the lifestyle is over here. I mean, it's a similar but different to where I'm from in Australia as well. But yeah, I think the main thing really for me was just the program in general and the way it's set up and the culture that really stood out to me.
You're not the only international on the team.
No.
Obviously, you got Sophia, who's from Spain,
Mhm.
and because I've just been looking at this, you got Christine, who's from Denmark,
Yes.
and also Lana, who's from Switzerland. How have you got along with those other three, and have you learnt something from them?
Oh, I mean, I love internationals. I think it's awesome to be able to come over here and play and just make friends with internationals over here. Um, and those three, like, it's great, honestly, and they're such great teammates. And even just to be able to hear their experiences, some of them are fortunate to be able to play on their national team. And so to be able to share experiences and stuff like that, and their cultures and their backgrounds, I think that's really something that I love learning about. And yeah, I mean, I'm actually roommates with Kirsten, which is pretty cool. So we've gotten close over that. And yeah, Lana and Sophia, just their wealth of experience is something that I really love. But yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate to be able to have internationals in all of my teams. And so, yeah, a lot of from Europe, and I just love learning about it. It's awesome, honestly, awesome.
You miss home?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big family person.
I know you
And
are.
so I definitely miss my family lots and lots and lots. But I think the one thing that keeps me here is knowing how proud they are of me and how supportive they are. And I know that. And I'm actually fortunate this year will be their first, my grandparents and my parents are coming over and my brother. So they're coming over to watch, which will be my first time they'll be able to watch me play college basketball in person, which is absolutely insane. I'm so excited. So yeah, to be able to bring them over here into, I guess, a different part of the world, and for them to experience a lifelong dream of mine is pretty special.
Mm. Obviously, you're from Mount Barker
Hmm.
in the Adelaide Hills. Does Portland feel very similar to what is back home? Obviously, it's a little bit more foresty than it is in Mount Barker, but I feel because I've been to both.
Hmm.
Um, obviously, Mount Barker back home, and obviously to Portland, Oregon, where you are now. Do you feel very similar in regards to the scenery and the way people go about things in both areas?
Yeah, I feel like surprisingly, that was probably another thing I did notice on my visit is, Mount Barker, especially when I, was growing up, there was a lot of greenery and there was
Mm.
not many houses. And obviously now, as we know it, it has expanded crazily. So yeah, like honestly, the environment here, it's very calming, very peaceful. Um, for majority of the time. So I think that's something that I really love. And the weather is nicer as well over here compared to where I've been. So I'm not gonna lie, it's obviously a little bit nicer to have a bit, I say warmer, but it still gets pretty cold here.
That's what I was gonna say.
So yeah, so but obviously for me, the what is home is my family, and so to not have them here is obviously a big factor in why it is so different. But just the environment in general, I mean, I think what's awesome about it is, we get to explore the US in general as well. So it's not just looking at Portland, which is, yeah, I find it is quite similar to where I am back at home, but also to be able to explore the rest of the US and, travel in that kind of sense. I'm really lucky.
What does the sport of basketball mean to you now? Now you've especially been now over there at Portland State.
Yeah, I mean, basketball, it's been a part of my life for over a decade now. And it's a part of my family's life as well. So I'm just fortunate to be able to kind of hold that, I guess legacy in our life, in our family life and stuff like that. I am so passionate about basketball. I love it. It's, that kind of outlet from life. I'm able to just be myself and play basketball and play a sport that I enjoy and love, and to be able to do it with people that I'm really close with and that, they really are great teammates, that's what makes it even more special. And so the fact that, yeah, I get this opportunity to come over to the other side of the world and do what I love, I just cannot be more grateful.
What will be some highlights throughout your college journey? Considering last time we had you on the show, we were talking about the nationals. Since then, as you mentioned, this is your third year over here in the US in college. What will be some highlights throughout your college journey?
Yeah, I think just generally like the people you meet obviously is definitely one of the highlights. I'm still speaking to one of my friends that I made back in New York. She was on the golf team, and I'm really close with her. And then I've been fortunate enough, like in my last year, that I made some really, really close friends. And so I think that's definitely something that is one of my highlights, is just creating relationships like I have. I think, you know, my first year scoring my first points, that was a pretty cool highlight, and it was actually a 3-pointer against the University of Massachusetts. So to be able to, you know, perform on the big stage, like I'm super, super lucky. Yeah, to be able to score your first kind of college bucket is pretty cool. But yeah, just like in general, you know, this exhibition game probably you know, a great start to the season. And for me, I'm just really looking forward to, you know, what this year kind of brings in general. And that's the excitement of it. And I think that's just something that every year I look forward to. And obviously, it's a hard, long season. And I think the preparation for it is also what I guess probably builds it up a lot as well. But yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it.
What would be your advice to people that should follow the team? I know your games watched online as well. Um, how can our listeners, what would be your advice to actually support from home?
Yeah, so we are televised on ESPN Plus, which is a US based platform. But I know my family will use like VPNs to watch, which is awesome that they can be able to do that. And I think slowly but surely it is growing to be more internationally televised, which I think hopefully within the next couple years or so that could be what it's like. But honestly, I think the best thing is just watching a team where we're enjoying it, and it's just great brand of basketball over here. It's fun, enjoyable, and I think to me, like to be able to watch, you know, Australians or, you know, people that are close to home, I think that's pretty awesome. And so yeah, I would just love them to get as much support from back home as I can. And yeah, just get as many people watching the game of basketball, and hopefully they love it as much as I do.
Let's finish off with a couple of light-hearted questions about your teammates.
Okay.
Firstly, who's the comedian, the best singer, and the best dancer on the team?
I think comedians, I mean, we have a couple of funny people, but I think definitely Rima and Courtney, they're one at two of our posts. They like to crack a couple jokes. Rima's also she's also a really good TikTok dancer. So Rima and Jameer are usually the two, and Avery, our freshman, she usually hops in with a couple TikTok dancers as well. Um, Singer, I mean, we get a sample from Rima every day. So yeah, Rima definitely covers a lot of those aspects. But yeah, I'm definitely not a dancer nor a singer, but I'm happy to support anyone in the team for that for that talent for sure.
Okay, you pretty much just answered my next question. Have you been roped into any of these TikTok dances?
Fortunately, so far, not too bad. We actually just filmed recently a little video regarding our favorite TikTok dances, and so yeah, that's a little bit confronting for me. But honestly, like the girls make it so fun and just lighthearted, which is the best part about it. But yeah, unfortunately, there have been a couple times where I've been roped in.
Now, my next question I'm going to ask you is, do you have a pre-game superstition or ritual or routine?
Well, so I always like we usually have shoot arounds before, and so I'll always make sure I get shots up before a game, whether that be in shoot around or just by myself. I always make sure that I leave the gym on a made basket. Otherwise, I think like food wise is probably the only real superstition. I make sure that I eat 3 hours before the game. Um, but yeah, otherwise I do get my ankles taped. But otherwise, yeah, I'm not really that superstitious. Sometimes I'll be like, if I don't have a good game in like the shoes or like the undershirt, then I'll swap. But yeah, besides that, I'm pretty just go with the flow.
Yeah, does the team have a hype song?
Rima would be good at answering that. She's in control of all our songs. But we fortunate actually we had an intro video filmed which plays at the start of every match. So that's another reason why you guys should tune in. But yeah, I know, I think for us, like we love getting upbeat and our energy and stuff like that. So I think they would probably be any of those kind of songs. We love listening to a little bit of like Drake and Rihanna and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not good in that area.
Okay, no, that's all right, all good. Now, how's the Aussie accent going around your teammates?
Oh, I reckon that's something that I'm slowly introducing into the team. But even just some little things like I'll notice and I'm like, that is definitely Australian. But unfortunately, I think I'm becoming Americanized. Like my accent is
Yep.
slowly going every now and again. As my parents will remind me every time I call them. Um, but yeah, it's actually crazy how just being around people and how they adapt to, my kind of accent and the way I say words and stuff like
So you're not that you don't sound that bad in regard to
that.
you kind of have a couple times throughout this interview, but not
Yeah.
not as bad.
I'll take it. Thank you.
That's all good. Have you convinced any of your teammates to come down with you to the beautiful part of South Australia?
I try every year. I try. I put it out there and I let them know that, they've got a home, they've got a place to stay if they ever come. But I think honestly, I'm hopeful that, I can kind of promote Australia in a way. And it's just so far away. That's probably the only thing that deters people from coming is just the travel. And I think that's something that, even the Europeans, like we can kind of relate to in the time difference and the amount of travel we do. So the quick little, 2-3 hour flights that we have to do for traveling this in the season and stuff is nothing compared to our 16-hour flights. So I'm hoping over the next couple of years maybe some teammates might come visit in Australia, but cross fingers.
Yes. No, trust me, I know the feeling because now I've been over here myself.
Yes, you have.
Now we'll finish with this two-part question. The first part is any embarrassing moments?
Well, I did get a concussion in my first, I think it was actually the first week of practice. So that was a little, not just embarrassing, but just a little, oh my gosh. And then I actually still have a little bit of a bruise on my eye, but I got hit in the head again. And my whole eye here just like puffed up. So that was embarrassing. I was fortunate that it was just a closed scrimmage with our team. But yeah, it blew up massively. And so I was fortunate to get away with no concussion. But other girl that hit her head on mine, she unfortunately got a concussion out of it. But otherwise, even just in practice, like just falling over nothing or tripping over, like that's pretty embarrassing. I'm sure there's a couple videos of probably all of us, to be honest.
How's your American accent going? Because you just mentioned about the Aussie accent around your teammates. How's your American accent going? Now,
um,
junior year.
yeah, I mean, it sometimes, I mean, I think the main time I have to use it is when people ask for my name, because whenever I say Taylor, they think I'm saying Tyler.
Oh,
So yeah, so that's the time whenever I go to like Starbucks or I have to give my name for something, I'll
yes,
either give a completely different name, like a
yes.
Lily or Abby or something like that, or yeah, I'll have to bring out the Taylor accent, Taylor Moffat or something
I
like that. So
agree.
unfortunately, I do have to bring the accent out a couple times, and I'm embarrassed. That's probably another thing I'm embarrassed by is my accent, my American accent. But yeah, I've got to bring it out, otherwise I don't get my Starbucks order.
Oh, don't worry, Taylor. I know that being over here, and I had that's my last name, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, yes, completely understand what you're talking about there. Uh, but Taylor, thank you so much for giving up some of your time to join us. Obviously, best of luck this weekend. Obviously, you're at home
Thank
to
you.
Hawaii before you hit the road in San Fran and Seattle the following week, and hopefully, by the end of next couple 2 weeks, I hope you start the season 4-0.
For sure, that is the plan. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. And that's Taylor Moffat. They're joining us from the Portland State women's basketball team. Of course, they're at home this week, and of course, against Hawaii, which will be, we'll put all the details up on how you can watch that game as well. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away here on the TT Celebration.